For doing that, people are calling me Baba Gosulo. When I was going fast, I too was arrested. Why should I go fast? I did. So I'm going slow. But whatever the case, I will not stop pointing fingers to those who have illegally taken or abused trust by taking money from the trust given to them by the system in the country. Fighting corruption, yes, we are slow because the system is slow. It's not Baba that is slow, it's the system that is slow. When I came to the refugee system, it was not, I got in trouble. So I'm going by this system. And I hope we will all make it.
Welcome back, everyone. The candidate of the PDP takes on the APC candidate and the president, Muhammadu Buhari. It is on a major cardinal point of the ruling party's campaign, anti-corruption war. The president blames the system for the slowness, but Atiku says, you had a problem. Take a look at some of the figures and information from the Anti-Graft agency, the EFCC, on prosecution. They did say that they made 103 prosecution in 2015, 195 in 2016, 189 in 2017, and 312 so far in 2018. And from 2015 to date, they've made 500 billion recovered loots. Let's get back to the conversation now. Mr. Segun Showumi is a spokesperson of the Atiku PDP Presidential Campaign Council. And Mr. Niyi Akinshiju is the chairman of the Buhari Media Organization in our Abuja studio. Thank you so much. Quickly, let me come back to you. The big question around the issues of anti-corruption war that the PDP candidate is raising here is that when you're talking, it seems to be telling the president, when you're talking about fighting corruption, you need to look in your backyard. That seems to be the crux of the message that is the Atiku Abubakar is saying in this statement. And when you look at some of these issues, SGF, MENA, and the other issues, so the big question will be, is there sincerity in the anti-corruption war?
I agree. The president, and of course the administration of the APC should have to look, in the backyard, as it were. And the truth of the matter is, since 2015, the president had been looking, in its backyard. Don't forget that just about 6 or 7 months into the life of this administration, the administration took on the number 3 man of the administration in the hierarchy of this government, the Senate President, distinguished Senator Bukola Saraki, and he was dragged to the Code of Conduct Tribunal, and it took a while for that matter to be concluded. That suggests and that tells us the seriousness and the commitment of this government to the fight against corruption, because some apologists of negotiated corruption fight will tell you that why would you take on the head of your legislative arm, especially when you are fighting corruption, especially when you need the support of such organization and such individual. But the truth of the matter is, this president is a non-negotiable.
Let's get Mr. Showumi back into the conversation. Mr. Akinci, just a moment. Let's get Mr. Showumi back into the conversation now. So he raised a very critical point. The issues of moral. The man that is talking, Atiku Abubakar, when you're talking about corruption, he raised that issue. What would you have to say to that?
Well, the thing is this. You either agree that a man is innocent until he's proven guilty, or you change the dictum and tell the whole world that once you have your suspicion, your allegations, and your issues, which are not proven, charged, convicted, then you're going to insist that nobody has a right to talk. That won't be right.
But there are a lot of issues out there in the public, the public domain, when the principal to Atiku Abubakar at the time did talk about the morality and the stance of the vice president at the time when he was in office.
There's a tendency to believe that when you invite us to this program, we're actually coming to argue. That's not the essence
It's
of
not
it.
argument.
Hold on
it's
a
about
second.
the fact when you're
when
talking,
you raise
we need to,
a question,
we need to put
when
issues,
you
we need to
raise
put facts to
when
the
you
issues.
raise a question to either of us, please give us some time to explain.
That's what we are doing.
Otherwise, we will not even be able to make sense.
Go ahead, Mr. Show.
Now, listen. If you either have convictions, investigations that have come to conclusion, therefore you can make a pronouncement of corruption, or you don't. Government does not run on rumor. Government runs on verified facts. Truth of the matter is this. Atiku, like any other Nigerian, can run into an avalanche of malicious propaganda, and it can take time to shift it. If you are not able to get him to court, if you are not able to get him convicted, you must respect his right to personal dignity. Some of these comments are libelous. The man is just a gentleman, not to take people to court. You can't call me a thief without evidence and expect me to live by it. That said.
You're saying that he should have taken the former, his principal to court.
If you want me to get into the principal issues, there are characters within us. Human beings are different. Some of us, when we are angry, we can use very strong adjectives to convey our anger. It may not necessarily be the truth. And when we stop getting angry, unfortunately, we cannot undo those statements we've made. Fact remains that Atiku between 1999 to 2007 was in government. He's been out of government between 2007 till date. If they had anything, what would have been morally right, disciplined, right, appropriate, and correct was for him to have been convicted, charged to court, and he would have had to defend himself, or he would have been let loose. On the Saraki matter that was mentioned, thank goodness God, the verdict was not guilty. So, do you really have a moral right to keep insisting that I haven't taken him through the hollows and the drama of going to court? If the court says he's not guilty, you have to get yourself out of that and go look for something else. On the anti-corruption that the president is running, let me tell you what I say personally. I always say to myself that His Excellency Muhammadu Buhari means to fight corruption. The only challenge is that there is a competence and capability problem. You may have an intention to do a big idea. If you do not have the technical knowledge and the competence and the capability to do it, people will complain. Let me tell you what. When he came the first time, and we were younger, we were sons in the military school, and he was doing the anti-corruption drive, you would have thought that with what he did then, maybe the whole country would have learned. Because those things were not systemic, they were not able to be sustained, the country went back into corruption. So now what we are saying to you is this. Systems are the things that get nations working. There is corruption everywhere in the globe. What other countries do is put systems in place that can catch the thief and can punish the thief. I do not believe that any criminal should escape, but I also do not accept that leadership at the highest level must run on the dictum of blaming others but himself.
All right.
The whole idea of leadership is to take responsibility.
All right.
And Buhari is not taking responsibility. That's where the problem is.
Let's close the program. We have 20 seconds to close the program, and I'll give you the opportunity to do that, Mr. Akinshiju. You've heard it. That the president is not taking responsibility. Those are the allegations against the president. 20 seconds, please.
It's not about taking responsibility. The president is a very responsible-minded person. First, he had given us a circuitous a circuitous approach, to fight corruption against the instituted authorities. And the instituted authorities will also include the Senate president in this matter. The instituted authorities will also include Atiku himself. Don't forget that he had sent a bill on money laundering bill to the National Assembly. The leadership of the National Assembly refused to attend to that.
We're out of time.
They have sent
the 20
a whistleblower bill to the
over,
National Assembly. The leadership of the National Assembly refused to attend to that.
Thank you so much. Mr. Akinshiju, I most sincerely thank you. And Mr. Showumi, thank you so much for coming on the program. Don't forget that the presidential debate comes up on January 19th. That's going to be another classic that we need to look at right there on your screen there, everyone. Look out for that on the 19th of January 2019. But that's how far we can go on the program tonight. We wish that we could extend and talk more on this. Many thanks to my guests. And many thanks for you being watching from wherever you're watching. I'm sure tomorrow. Bye-bye.